Crazy things you didn't know about the dark past of Larry Bird. Before we start, I would like you to hit that red subscribe button so you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to NBA Orb. Larry Bird, along with Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan, is one of the most recognized names in the history of basketball. The Hick from French Lick was not only for his impressive basketball skills, but his hard work ethic and grueling style of play. Though he played throughout the 1980s and into the early 1990s, his exploits and victories in the world of basketball are still spoken of and praised by fans of the sport. Here are some crazy things you didn't know about Larry Bird. He grew up in poverty. Larry Bird was born in West Baden, a small town next to French Lick, Indiana. He was the fourth of 6 children born to Joe and Georgia Bird. His father mainly worked construction between long stints of unemployment, and his mother worked in a diner to make ends meet. The family's small house was situated beside railroad tracks and only had a coal furnace for warmth, one that would often break down, leaving the family in harsh conditions during some winter nights. His father was also an alcoholic who sometimes spent his earnings at the local bar instead of bringing them home to his family, although this did not happen often. Due to financial difficulties, Larry would often be sent to live with his grandma. Whether in West Baden or French Lick, he received no relief from the desperate conditions which surrounded him. Larry always said his desire to escape from a life of poverty was one of the biggest motivators behind his success. Perhaps this was why, all through his childhood, Larry would take 200 practice shots every morning before going to school. He has written a biography. In 1989, he published his autobiography, Drive, The Story of My Life. It chronicles his life and career of his NBA seasons. His father shot himself. When Larry Bird was just 18 years old, his father shot himself right after making a phone call to Larry's mother. The couple were divorced at that point, with Joe's alcoholism being the main reason for their separation. Support payments were due and work was non-existent, which led Joe to the decision that the family would be better served through insurance money. Just before he was to be picked up by the police for failing to make his payments, Joe called his wife and told her she didn't need to worry anymore about the situation. He then hung up and fired one shot into his head, killing himself instantly. Growing up, Larry was best friends with his father. The two spent almost all their time together, so Joe's death affected Larry deeply. Being a very private person, Larry never publicly showed it. He dropped out of college and worked as a garbage man. Recruited by Bobby Knight of the legendary Indiana Hoosiers into Indiana University straight from high school, Larry Bird would only last a few weeks before he left, due to not only the strangeness of his new environment, but a severe lack of funds. Larry returned home to French Lick, where he also dropped out of junior college. He took a job with the city as a garbage man out of necessity. In the meantime, he also found himself newly married and with a child. Larry said of the job, "I love that job. It was outdoors. You were around your friends, picking up brush, cleaning it up. I felt like I was really accomplishing something." How many times are you riding around your own town and say to yourself, why don't they fix that? Why don't they clean the streets up? And here I had the chance to do that. I had the chance to make my community look better. His rivalry with Magic Johnson was made into a play. During their career, Magic and Bird had a huge rivalry. Long after their retirement, HBO made a documentary called Magic and Bird, A Courtship of Rivals. It was later turned into a Broadway play. Magic and Bird are very good friends now. He played his last years in the NBA through utter pain. In 1985, Larry Bird decided to build the driveway of his mother's home himself. He spent all day shoveling gravel and ended up hurting his back, causing his spine to get misaligned. Later on in his career, this injury, as well as multiple surgeries he had to remove the spurs from the bones in his heels, would make every game he played a struggle. From 1987 to 1988 onward, he would have to have his spine realigned before many of the games, just to be able to participate. The injury was so severe that he often had to lie down for hours at a time, either between games or sometimes even during and after them. His toughness was legendary, however, as even during one playoff game against the Pacers, in which he suffered a concussion, he returned to the floor to lead his team to victory. His performance was so amazing that even the opposing Pacers team congratulated his effort after the game had ended. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.